If you can remember when any of these songs came out, it's time to schedule your colonoscopy. This is the Songs That Made Me 90s Alternative Rock Edition. So come with me now, elder millennials, on a quest as we take a little walk down memory lane to see if we can feel things again. We're kicking it off with an absolute whopper of a tune, 311, Beautiful Disaster. I used to cover this in my high school cover band. Let's see, I think I can play the whole thing. Pro Tools crashed. Lame. Not bad for 20 plus years. I always really loved this band. I thought they were really unique and cool, and kind of a great example of why the 90s was a great time to be making music, because you could play really fucking weird music and have hits. They would put the weirdest shit on the radio. 311 was blending all of these different sounds. Like in this one song, we've got like Iron Maiden style harmonized leads, reggae grooves, heavy chunky riffs. And then the vocal style doesn't really go along with any of those, but it somehow works. Alternative rock was such a vague category. The lines weren't as clearly drawn then. It was really nice, actually. I got introduced to all kinds of stuff just by listening to my local radio stations. In Boston, they were WBCN and WAAF. So the internet was just like not usable yet, except for like AOL Instant Messenger was the radio and MTV. It was a fucking wonderful time for weird ass music. We had like the presidents of the United States, Toadies, like all this weird shit. And for me, this was easily the most transformative time for me musically. I started to play the guitar, and the reason that I did that was because of this music. So the music from this era spans the time before I played the guitar and sort of catapulted me into wanting to play music, and then eventually, of course, wanting to do it for my whole life. I was listening to this stuff long before I was a musician, really. I played the cello really bad. So it was a really cool period of discovery for me, just like getting excited about music that my parents didn't like or care about, discovering what I liked about music, and then deciding that I wanted to be able to make it. You could say that this music ruined my life. I could have been a dentist. My brother is a lawyer. Leading up to the release of my band In Virtue's new album, which is called Age of Legends, which is going to be out November 21st, you heard it here, I've been examining the music that made me the musician that I am. So far we've done metalcore, and now we're doing 90s alternative rock. I'm also hoping to do prog and power metal. And it's all sort of in my musical DNA. And listening back to the album, in its entirety, I was like, wow, I can really hear like all these little elements of things that made this music what it is. So I'm taking you down the rabbit hole with me to listen to the songs that made me, and I'm going to try to play some of them. You can pre-save the album at the link in the description if you so desire. And then this is just one of 2 guitars that I'm going to be playing today. This is the signature model of the man for whom I am most often mistaken, my buddy Fluff. This is his Sterling by Music Man Artist Edition Stingray. This is the rule of thumb red one, and it is ultra sick. Today's video is sponsored by Sterling by Music Man. There's a link in the description where you can grab one for yourself. More on that later. Why aren't these lights on? That's much better, right? The next one is Freak by Silverchair. I personally consider this to be the heaviest riff of all time. It's my personal number 1, and it actually greatly influenced the riff that I wrote for our song, which is called Gunslingers of the New American Desert, which I think is the heaviest riff that I ever wrote. Look at that guitar. Holy shit. The fucking Roswell Rhodes. Wow. I think that thing is one of the most unique and weird and cool guitars ever. You cannot tell me that that's not a fucking cool guitar. It's dumb as shit, but fuck. I would love to have one of those. You wish you could be as cool as me. What is this chord? Oh, that's a good one. If only I could be as cool as you. It's a cool harmonic move, too. Flat 2, maybe this. I can't see his hands in fucking 480p. If only I could be as cool as you. Body and soul, I'm a freak, I'm a freak. I never learned this part. Body and soul, I'm a freak, I'm a freak. I can only imagine how much money they spent on this music video for us to only be able to watch it in 480p on the official Silverchair channel. This is a great example of something that could be this heavy and still be in like alternative rock. Like this just got lumped in with REM. My first concert ever was Everclear, Soul Coughing, and I shit you not, the Black Eyed Peas on the Levi's Snowcore tour. I was in 8th grade, I think. What a fucking weird lineup. Once again, the 90s. You could have these 3 bands on the same bill, and it was fucking awesome. This is pre-Fergie Black Eyed Peas. They played with a full band. They absolutely ripped. It was amazing. Everclear headlined over the Black Eyed Peas. I also have a funny story about Everclear. I have seen Everclear twice in my life. One time I went in high school with my, at the time, girlfriend, and the singer, Art, does this thing when they go to play Santa Monica, which is like their biggest hit. He brings somebody up on stage to play guitar on the song. So he goes, all right, who here plays guitar? And I was like, ah! Ah! Yeah. He's like looking out in the crowd, and he points at me and he goes, nah, he's wearing a Spinal Tap shirt. Probably too metal. I was like, oh, God. I did not get to go up and play Santa Monica. It's not my favorite song, but I think right now I just need to prove to myself that I could have done it in spite of having not played it. I think at the time I couldn't play it either. I would have figured it out. Let's just see how far I can get. I am still living with your ghost. too fast, and I thought that this was Drew Barrymore. It is not. I totally could have done it. Next time, Art. Next time. But Santa Monica isn't even close to my favorite Everclear song. And what I think is the best Everclear song ever is a little bit more obscure. Of course, it was from one of the best-selling albums of the time, which is the Scream 2 soundtrack. I don't think it's on anything else, and I think it is easily their best one. It's called The Swing, and the Scream 2 soundtrack is amazing. Talk about a little musical time capsule. Like, look at what was on this soundtrack. There was a Master P and Silk the Shocker song called Scream. Coincidence that there's a song on the new In Virtue album called Scream? Cottonmouth Kings, Sugar Ray, D'Angelo, Dave Matthews, Collective Soul, John Spencer Blues Explosion, Foo Fighters, Tonic, Everclear, Less Than Jake, fucking love Less Than Jake, and of course Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. Kelly and somebody named Ear 2000, apparently David Arquette wrote the song? Was he a musician? He was briefly in a band by the name of Ear 2000, but just filthy with bangers. Feel like this is in a weird tuning. I'm gonna Oh my God. I'm gonna have to tune like 20 cents sharp or something. I bet they recorded this to tape and they decided afterwards that it wasn't fast enough, and so they sped it up. If you have perfect pitch, I'm so sorry. This is gonna probably suck. God damn. Great song. Super simple. Absolutely passes the campfire test. Sometimes all I think about is falling apart. Beautiful. That shit hits. One thing that we're asking today is, do these songs hold up these many moons later? I think this one absolutely does, because this is classic, timeless songwriting. Like, if someday we wind up in an apocalypse with no electricity and we only have acoustic instruments, this song will hold up. That doesn't necessarily make it like a better song, but it does imbue it with this kind of timelessness. And I think a lot of 90s songs are like that, because a lot of this production just doesn't really hold up. I mean, it's not that it's bad, and some of it has something that we're missing these days. For this next one, I need to use a different guitar because it's in a different tuning. Luckily, Sterling sent me one in each color. Oh yeah. This one is called I'm on a Boat Blue. I have known Fluff, aka Ryan Bruce, for a very long time, and he's always had exquisite taste in musical instruments. And it was so exciting to see that he got his very own signature artist series from Ernie Ball. And I love me some Ernie Ball Music Man guitars. I have several, and I love them very much. But they're a little on the pricey side, of course. But now, thanks to Sterling by Music Man, the same model has come much more into reach of the average person without much compromise at all. For under $900, this is a crazy sick guitar with great features. These are real Seymour Duncan JBs. It has locking tuners. The finish is, I mean, look at this. It feels great and it sounds great and it looks like $1 million. So if you want one of your own for, like I said, less than $900, you can get that at the link in the description. Let's see if I can do this with just my volume knob, because I'll have to play with my knob. The first album that I bought with my own money was Smashing Pumpkins' Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. I feel like it's kind of an overstuffed album. It was a double album, and there's a ton of absolute heaters and a lot of like okay ones. Look, don't make a double album if you don't have 2 albums worth of really strong material. But hey, like, during this time period, the Smashing Pumpkins were on top of the world. And I think this next song that's from that album, Tonight, Tonight, is one of the most beautiful and dark songs ever written. I might cry a little bit. I'm going to try not to blubber on camera, but we used to cover this in my high school cover band once again. By the way, my cover band in high school was called Lesbianage. We thought that that was very clever. I forgot that this has a really cool music video too. I used to play the string parts on lead guitar. I do not remember them. Great music. I fucked it. I gotta run that back. I fucked it up. This might be where my love of strings and orchestration in music came from, aside from Batman soundtrack. This is an amazing pre-chorus. Look at it again. Apparently, I remember all the words, too. Billy Corgan once said, "I've done pretty well for a bald guy with a whiny voice, and I think that makes him my personal mascot." Same. Fucking same. So like I said, Melancholy was the first album that I bought with my own money. But the first album that I ever owned, that I got as a gift for Christmas, I think, was Dookie by Green Day. I had a friend who had an older brother who played guitar, but he also sort of, fed us music because he was cooler. And so my friend had a copy of Dookie and we would listen to it. And I was like, I need to own this album, which of course at the time was CDs. CDs nuts. We covered this one time, and I think it's one of the best album openers of all time. But I might be a little biased. I declare I don't care no more. Running up and out and going born. I smoked at morning. My hair is shaking in my eyes. Jungle beats and hit the streets at night. Drive along this shit town lights. I'm not growing up, I'm just burning out. I can relate to that lyric so much better as an adult. I'm not growing up, I'm just burning now. And I stepped in line to walk amongst the dead. I feel fucking 15 again, except that my back hurts. My soul feels 15, but my body is 41. But my face looks 27. Don't lie. And also, at the time, I didn't know what punk was. Very shortly after that, when I was 15, 16, I got into, real punk. Just growing up sort of lower middle class in the suburbs, these lyrics really, really hit home for me. In spite of the fact that I really did not suffer in any way. And just the sheer intensity and really excellent songwriting on this album really hit me. Green Day are proper amazing songwriters most of the time. Maybe often, we'll say. I kind of feel like for Green Day, punk was like a cage, and they had to break free so that they could soar. They're kind of punk the way that Taco Bell is Mexican food. So you remember earlier I was saying don't make a double album unless you have a double album's worth of very strong material. Weezer's self-titled, aka the Blue Album, in my opinion, is a no-skip, perfect album. Every song on it is amazing. Of course, these days, Weezer is sort of memed a lot. But this album is, truly amazing. We used to cover, half of the songs on this album because they're all fucking great. This one I sang at a show once because some of my friends were going off to college, and I felt sad. I think it's great. Let's see if I can remember any of it. The world has turned and left me here, just where I was before you appeared. And in your place, an empty space has filled the void behind my face. I just made love with your sweet memory 1,000 times in my head. You said you loved it more than ever. You said you and me turned away, turning further every day. The world has. I always thought that was kind of a weird lyric. I just made love to your sweet memory. My brother in Christ. That is an inside thought. This is another band that had a really unique sound. It's sort of like 311 in the same sense that the music at times is very heavy, but the vocal is this sort of ultra low energy kind of sad boy nice sound that doesn't really match in the way that we would think. Also, the band Hum, I think, sounds like that too. And once again, just like really high quality, classic songcraft. These ones absolutely all pass the campfire test. Starting with the chorus, one of many ways to start a song. If you're having trouble figuring out how to start your songs, I have a whole list of different ways to start and end songs. In my new course, it's called Song Finisher. It's a course where I show you how to take your song ideas and turn them into complete song structures. You can get that at the link in the description. I think I achieved the goal of feeling things again and getting back to the nucleus of my musical identity in a way. This is the first stuff that kicked off in my brain the idea that I could be a musician and that I could create music that was mine and that I could listen to music that wasn't oldies, which is what my parents really liked. Should I do an oldies episode? But this is just one string of the musical DNA of In Virtue. The new album, Age of Legends, is coming out November 21st. You can pre-save it at the link in the description. Huge thanks to Sterling by Music Man and my buddy Fluff for sending over these amazing guitars. You can get one for yourself at the link in the description below. Stay squishy, and I'll see you real soon.